Hi there, a very good morning to all our viewers who've tuned in live to this broadcast here on Moneycontrol. The show is called Newspresso with me, Stacy, Pereira, and as the drill goes, in the next few minutes, you're going to be getting a lowdown of all the top stories from across the globe, what's happening in the commodity space, because we're seeing Brent crude prices really drop drastically by about $5 or nearly 5% just overnight. So what's really triggering that, and also the cascading effect it will have on equities all across the globe. Also insights into India, right from political to corporate drama, we got you all covered, and the latest tech as well as auto trends, all of that coming up for you in this show. Well, stay with us because we're going to be giving you this lowdown in the next few minutes. But let's first get to our global dispatch. Well, if you look at equities overnight on Wall Street, we finally saw some green there, we could say. Major averages all closing the session in with some marginal gains. The Dow Jones rising by about 0.39%, snapping that three-day losing streak that it was on. The tech-heavy Nasdaq too, quite the outperformer, gaining by about 1.35%, whereas the S&P 500 rising by 0.81%. Now, stocks were aided by that retreat we saw in Treasury yields. The rate on the 10-year Treasury note slipped from those highs that it had seen right up until 2007. That's the highs it had touched, or what it had last touched in 2007. Now, this really happened after payroll processes firm ADP has gone on to say that private jobs growth has totaled to about 89,000 for the month of September. Now, this number is well below the 160,000 estimates that were made. Now, all eyes will be on the weekly jobless claims as well as September's non-farm payroll data, which will be out on Friday. As for the futures, those are trading mildly lower at this point. And if you look at these US bond yields really pulling back from those multi-year highs, also saw the European markets react to that, but however closing lower on Wednesday. The Euro Pan-European Stock 600 index, that one ending just about 0.1% lower, but most of the sectors and bourses were pointing in opposite directions in the Euro area. Now, it was the oil and gas stocks that really led the losses there, down by about 2.1%, whereas tech stocks were the ones that inched a little higher at 1.2% of gains. In stock-specific action in the Euro region, we did see shares of Sandoz Group falling by about 15%. This on its debut as the generics and biosimilar business received a lower than expected valuation. Remember, this is the spin-off of Novartis's generics business. Now, auto stocks were the other counters that really were trading in the red in the Euro region. And also, let's put the spotlight on Asia-Pacific markets, where these easing treasury yields seem to have that ripple effect, one could say, across global markets. This Thursday morning, we are seeing indices in the Asia-Pacific region getting that good handover from Wall Street, and which is why Japan's Nikkei 225 is almost trading half a percentage point higher at this point. South Korea's Kospi is also up 0.78%. This after the country is also reacting to its CPI numbers for the month of September, which came in at 3.7%, much higher compared to the year ago, but perhaps what the market was looking forward to. Now, Australia's S&P ASX 202 is trading by just about 0.19% higher, whereas Hong Kong's Hang Seng, which has been the one that has got the drubbing in this last week, that index is trading above that flat line in this first hour of trade. If you look at the GIFT Nifty, that one is indicating a slightly higher start for the Indian markets too. But like I was talking about, it is the oil prices that have got everyone up and about, because oil prices have turned much lower, almost $5 falling overnight. And this after Energy Alliance partners, that is the OPEC Plus as we know them, made no changes to the group's oil output policy. But also we got US data which has shown that there is weaker demand for gasoline in the United States. Now, the international benchmark Brent crude futures was last seen trading by about 5.6% lower at $85.81 per barrel. Now, crude oil prices have fallen by almost $10 since the last week's settlement. Now, data from the US Energy Information Administration, or EIA as we know it, has showed that it has finished the motor gasoline supplies. Now, finished motor gasoline is the one that acts as a proxy to check for demand in the US. Well, that one fell last week to about 8 million barrel per day, and this is the lowest since the start of this year. Meanwhile, if you look at OPEC Plus, and in that meeting, we saw Saudi Arabia confirming that it will continue its voluntary 1 million barrel per day crude supply cuts until the year end, whereas Russia has gone on to say that it will continue its 300,000 barrel per day crude export cuts in November and will then review its voluntary 500,000 barrel per day cuts till the set in April. So we are going to see further cuts that are expected, so that demand supply mismatch when it comes to oil prices, that is what is really playing out. We are also seeing that crunch in the US, where you're saying there's no demand, but also oil suppliers like Russia and Saudi Arabia now saying that they are going to further extend those supply cuts. Well, let's also move on then and look at what we are seeing. Now, there is going to be a historic protest in the United States, and this is going to be marked by the healthcare workers there. Now, about 75,000 healthcare workers launched a planned 3-day strike at the Kaiser permanent facilities. Now, the union coalition, which represents these workers, has gone on to say that Kaiser has failed to address the staff crunch that they are facing, and the company's staff are protesting as they feel overburdened and underpaid at their jobs. The union includes nurses, doctors, technicians, and even ER workers. Now, the staff insists that Kaiser needs to hire about 10,000 new healthcare workers in order to fill the current vacancies. They also are demanding a $25 hourly minimum wage, as well as an increase of about 7% each year in the first 2 years, and then a 6.25% each year in the 2 years after that. Now, we've already seen protests in the past. We've seen the auto union go out to the streets, and now it's the healthcare workers in the US that are protesting. Meanwhile, in these discussions, the company has gone on to say that the management as well as the union representatives are still on the bargaining table, and they are expecting that negotiations will work ahead. Let's move across the Atlantic and see in the United Kingdom, where UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has gone on to unveil a raft of new policies aimed at shoring up his waning support from his Conservative Party, and this ahead of next year's general election. Now, Sunak was delivering his headline speech at the close of the Conservative Party's conference that took place in Manchester, where he went on to speak out on the controversial decision to scrap the northern leg of that was planned of the HS2, or the high-speed rail network, which was intended to connect industry across the country. Now, adding to the HS2 was he went on to say that this was an example of an old consensus, but now that facts have changed, the money that they would put into this infra project would be rather used in other measures. Now, he also made other announcements where they plan to raise the smoking age by 1 year every year, while also restricting the availability of vapes to children. This is a decision that came quite as a surprise from Rishi Sunak, but that's what they're planning to increase that smoking legal age for smoking. He also spoke about curbing illegal immigrants as well as reforming the education system in the United Kingdom. So it remains to be seen how he's really planning out these measures, but for now, scrapping that railway project is what he's actually gone on to confirm during this speech. Well, let's also move on and see what's happening here in the markets. Well, we did see that a sell-off across markets if you look at worldwide yesterday, but the Indian equities really were rattled too by the same. Now, we saw the Sensex losing nearly 300 odd points, whereas the Nifty was down by just about 80 points, but the Nifty managing to trim some of those losses in the last hour of trade. Now, we did see mid-caps that got battered, with the index losing over 500 points in yesterday's session. And among the sectors that were upbeat, which really took it to the chin, was auto, power, PSU banks, capital goods. All of these were down anywhere between 1 to 3%. On the other side, really lifting the sentiment was FMCG and IT stocks, which managed to give the market some respite. Though among the stocks you need to be keeping out on your radar today, well, look out for Bajaj Finance, as its board will be meeting to consider the fundraising either through preferential issue or a QIP. That could expect some action once we do have the outcome of that board meeting. Also looking at HDFC Bank, which will be in focus after that rejig announcement. Now we're getting through its Q2 updates, we're getting to know that the FII holding in the bank has dropped quite drastically in the second quarter. So we need to see where really that money is getting out from. And among the FMCG names, you can look at Marico, because that one has come out with its Q2 update as well, and has gone on to say that the domestic volume growth will only be in the low single digits, and that counter could see some pressure because of which. Well, let's move on then and tell you some corporate news, where from the aviation space this time around, there's a new twist in the Jet Airways revival saga. Now, just few days back, we saw that the Jalan Kalra Consortium, or JKC as we know it, said that they have completed the payments to take over the airline's ownership. However, now lenders have told the company's law appellate tribunal that they are doubtful about the source of money that has been deposited by the consortium. Now, the additional Solicitor General, who's arguing for the lenders, said that the money could have even been laundered. Now, lawyers to Jet Airways, however, have denied all of these allegations. The additional Solicitor General, who did appear for the Committee of Creditors, or the COC, says that the money deposited by the JKC consortium has come from several accounts, and which is why the source of money is quite doubtful at this point. Now, it remains to be seen, while the hearing takes place in the tribunal, what is JKC's response to this, or whether they actually have a trail to show the source for this money. Well, let's move on then and tell you what's happening in the law enforcement agencies, where this time around the Enforcement Directorate has summoned Actor Ranbir Kapoor as it goes on to probe that Mahadev betting app case. Now, the probe agency has alleged that there is a large-scale Hawala operation using the platform to siphon off betting proceeds to the offshore accounts. Now, remember, this case has been unfolding for some time now. There were other names that had come up too. But Ranbir Kapoor has reportedly, through this, received payments for carrying out promotional activities for an illegal betting app called Fairplay. Now, Fairplay is an app under this Mahadev Books International Network, and Ranbir Kapoor has been asked to appear in front of the ED now tomorrow, that is October 6th. After investigations, the ED has found out that about 112 crore rupees was transferred to an event management firm through informal channels, and this event firm also is the one that made a wedding arrangement for Mahadev's Books mastermind, which is Saurabh Chandrakar. Now, ED has also collected over 2.6 crore rupees so far after all the raids that it has conducted across premises and celebrity managers who all attended this event that took place in Dubai. Now, along with Ranbir Kapoor, there are several other celebrities too who have been questioned or who are likely to be pulled up by the ED in the coming days, is at least what we're picking up for now. So tomorrow is when we're going to see Ranbir Kapoor have to appear before ED in the matter related to this case. Well, let's also move on then and bring you some updates from the northeast, where Sikkim is really reeling under quite a bit of pressure. That's because a cloudburst over the Lonak Lake in Sikkim has led to that flash flood in that little state. Now, over 23 army personnel were feared missing, of which one now has been rescued. The Border Road Organization, or BRO, has launched the rescue operation through which 80 civilians too have been rescued at this point. Now, as per ISRO satellite-based observation, the lake burst at about 105 hectares area, which actually got drained out. Now, the flash floods could also be a result of this. Now, 10 people have been confirmed dead amidst this flash floods, and the situation is only worsening after dam water was released into the river. Now, local media are reporting that there are about 3,000 tourists too who are trapped in the area. Chief Minister of Sikkim, that is Prem Singh Tamang, will be holding a high-level meeting to discuss the relief measures. So far, schools in 4 districts, including Gangtok, will remain shut this week, and as rescue operations continue underway. Well, now let's look on to the most exciting development, and this is for Android users. I told you we always have the latest in tech, and yes, Google was the one that launched its 2 new Pixel phones and its latest Pixel smartwatch too. Now, the new tech devices were presented during the Made by Google event that took place in New York last night. And in India, the prices of the Google Pixel 8 series will start at about 75,999. This for the 128GB variant. Now, the Pixel 8 series is made of 100% recycled aluminium. And the Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro will come with a new Tensor G3 chipset as well. Now, Google's Pixel 8 Pro the 8 Pro is priced at 1,06,999. This too for the 128GB variant. The Pixel 8 Pro also touts a new sensor at the back, and that can measure the body temperature. So that will be interesting to see how it really compares to what Apple has to offer. Now, if these are some of the features that excite you, let me also be the bearer of good news and tell you that these are already up for grabs, because pre-orders have opened. That's right, you can be pre-ordering these phones on Flipkart, and deliveries for these phones are expected to start by mid-October. But also, let's move on and see what we got from the wearables. And there we saw the Pixel Watch that was also revealed yesterday. Now, one of the most exciting features there is the stress tracker. Now, the device will be able to track your stress levels through just your skin temperature, and it will also suggest you solutions when it senses that your temperature is under pressure. Isn't that pretty cool? Now, just by wearing a watch and that one being able to sense your temperature and give you solutions also of what you can be doing. That will be something to look forward to, I guess, for those tech enthusiasts at least. Well, also let's tell you from the sporting field, where Indian athletes this time around have secured the biggest haul ever at the Asian Games. India's medal tally, in fact, has crossed 80, which includes 18 gold medals. Now, India has surpassed that previous 70 medal tally that it had acquired in Jakarta during those Asian Games. Among the winners yesterday was Neeraj Chopra, our golden boy as we know him, who won another gold in javelin, whereas his teammate Kishore Kumar Jena is the one also who claimed the silver in the same event. Neeraj managed to throw an 88.88 meter distance, which was further than what he had thrown in Budapest, where the 25-year-old had claimed the country's first title in the track and field medal. Now, even Jena managed to throw a personal best of about 87.54 meters, getting India both those top spots. And the other big wins, we did see the 4x100 relay team as well secure a gold this time around. And it was Prime Minister Narendra Modi who went on to express his gratitude and posted on X saying that, and I quote, "We are celebrating the best ever medal tally, which is a testament to the unparalleled dedication, grit and sporting spirit of our athletes," end quote. Well, so definitely a big congratulations going out to all the athletes there. So many medals, 80 plus medals coming this time around from the Asian Games. But from one sporting action to the other, well, let me tell you about what's happening in the world of football, where the world soccer body, that is FIFA, in a surprise announcement yesterday said that Morocco, Spain and Portugal will be hosting the 2030 Soccer World Cup. While they will be the host, there will also be a different host for the first 3 matches, and this will come from the South American nations of Uruguay, Argentina and Paraguay, as the hosts will be at the opening matches. These will be marked as the centenary of the tournament, so 100 years for FIFA World Cup matches, and that will be played in the South American countries. Now, this will be the first time the tournament of the World Cup will be held across these 3 different continents. Interestingly, all 6 hosting country teams will automatically be qualified to compete. This normally happens for that one host country, but this time, since there are six of them, all 6 country teams will then now compete, will be qualified to compete in the competition. Now, the decision to host that 2030 tournament's opening game in Uruguay means also it is to commemorate that World Cup's 100th anniversary, and the first ever World Cup, remember, was held in Uruguay back in 1930, and it was the small Latin American country which hosted this and actually went on to beat Argentina in that final. Now, the 2030 opening match, though, will be held in that same stadium in order to mark that occasion. So, a lot for football fans to look forward to. 2030 not far away, and you have 6 different host countries, so you could be making your way to any one of these 6 countries to be catching these World Cup matches. Well, let's tell you now what you need to be looking forward to in today's day here in India. Well, we do have Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who will be traversing through Rajasthan. Remember, it is a pole-bound state, and today he will be laying the foundation stone and dedicate multiple development projects to the tune of 12,600 crore rupees in different sectors around road, rail, gas pipelines, house clean, drinking water, all of them. He will also be inaugurating the IIT Jodhpur. So that will be interesting to see. We have been seeing a slew of IITs that are coming up. This one being the newest IIT to join the list will be IIT Jodhpur. Let's also tell you about the political developments that are taking place. Well, we did see hours of raids yesterday that took place, and after that we saw AAP Sanjay Singh, who was arrested. He is a Rajya Sabha member from AAP, and he was arrested in the Delhi liquor policy case, and because of which today we are going to see Aam Aadmi Party workers take to the streets and protest this arrest in front of the BJP office at 11 a.m. today. So we are going to see that politics really take down to the streets because of what is happening there. And of course, let's not forget the ICC Men's Cricket World Cup 2023. That one will kick off today. Well, and we have the defending champions England, which will take on New Zealand at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad in the opening match, which will start at 2 p.m. today. So all eyes will definitely be, at least for the next 46 days, we are going to have this sporting action to catch up on. Of course, everyone looking forward to India's match with Australia on October 8th as well. Well, with that, it's a wrap, and we hope that this dose of Newspresso was useful, informative, and gives you that kickstart to your day. But don't forget to come back here, same place, same time tomorrow for your fresh shot of Newspresso. From all of us who put this show together, thanks so much for tuning in.